What is your meditation? Most of my meditation is walking meditation, or moving, some kind of moving meditation. I don't do particularly well just sitting down or lying down and trying to meditate. Maybe that's too forced. Like I feel like it's a forced meditation. I'm best when I'm moving. So I don't know. Maybe my mind moves too quickly. Maybe I just get better ideas when I'm moving around. Even now, I'm standing up like I'm on a trampoline. I get better ideas and I'm more in the flow when I'm moving as opposed to just being stationary. So I'll go for a walk every morning, and I look at my kind of intention for the day and what's on my calendar, and that I treat that as it's a walking meditation. You know, like, what do I want today to look like? How do I want today to go? And then whatever ideas flow to me, flow to me. So today I ended up thinking about some people on my team. I was thinking about my yoga instructor. I was thinking about movement makers, and like some things that may seem very minor, right? So movement makers, for example, we send an email out of old trainings. Like, hey, did you catch this training from Evan where we talked about how to improve your YouTube thumbnail click-through rate, right? Because a lot of people miss some of the older content. And the idea that came to me was, are we sending out the link to the direct training, or are we sending out the link to all the training together? And if it's all the training together, we should change that link to the direct link, right? I don't know why I was thinking about that. Why am I thinking about that? I don't know. It's not even on my list of things to do today, right? Today is team day, but because that idea came to me, I emailed myself, and Wednesday's my project day. I'll look at it and ask Yelena on my team, like, hey, what are we doing for the old trainings? Right? So I get a lot of ideas that way. And some of them are, business related. Some of them are personal related. But I find that really helpful to kind of get creativity going. And it's just I get better energy and better ideas when I'm moving. So walking, having a shower. How did I come up with I forget how I came up with the idea to work with Drew. I remember Beau was because I was driving. I was walking for a couple hours in a nearby city, and on the drive home.
Wasn't it because of the weekend?
I know it was because of it, like that weekend that we spent working on Zayn's website. But I still had to put in the work to figure out the model. Like that was always the biggest thing. Like because you already had a business, what's the model going to be that makes sense? And I just never put in the work to figure out the model. So I had to do that. I spent some thinking time, but I don't remember if I was walking or how that came to me. Anyway, so it's something to try. If you find that I've done the typical seated meditation with some of the world's greatest meditation teachers. I just find that a moving one does better things for me. So if you find yourself struggling with regular meditation, maybe give it a shot and see how it goes for you. Love to know your feedback. James Little says, should I have the outline for my first speech? You don't need the outline, James. What you need to do is have a value prop. Like, I'm going to help your organization learn how to, right? So Drew's going to go talk to these speakers and teach them how they can use YouTube to grow their business. Right? Like, why are they there? They're part of they're part of this association to learn how to grow their speaking careers. Right? So they're going to bring on experts who can help them grow their business. That's what they're all there for. So Drew's going to come in and tell them how to use YouTube to grow their speaking business. That's the only outline that he needs from a positioning perspective, right? What the actual content is, we just developed the outline today. James, this happened in real time today. How did this even happen, Drew? He's like a friend or something. How did you even get this opportunity?
Oh yeah. So a friend of mine who is like on the board of that association, in their planning meeting. When did they invite me? It was like end of December.
Okay.
Is when he like pitched the idea of like, hey, I want you to come and speak to us because you're good at YouTube and we need fresh blood.
Cool. Okay, so it's first week of February now. So middle of December, some point, a friend of a friend wants Drew to come in and speak about YouTube. Great. Drew then creates an outline of the 3 things that he wants to talk about, 3 big ideas, similar to kind of what we do in Movement Makers presentations. And then today we talked about it and we revamped it. Like, okay, those are not the 3 things I would talk about. I talk about these 3 things. Now, at the end of the day, it's Drew's presentation. He can say, hey, Evan, no, I don't like your ideas. You suck. And I'm going to do mine. Perfect. Whatever. That's your speech, dude. But, it ended up hopefully being a better outline. But we came up with the outline today, and his speech is next week or this Saturday. Right? So you don't need to nobody cares about the outline. They're not asking him for his outline before he goes up. They actually would prefer not to see the outline. Like, you're just creating more work for them. All they would need to know is, are there any requirements that you have? Like, do you need us to turn off the lights at some point? Do you have a PowerPoint file that you need us to load? Just they're more worried about their own logistics and can you bring value, right? More than the content. Nobody cares about the content as long as it fulfills the objective. So no, you don't need their outline. And when you get a gig, then you work on the outline. And here's the thing. I always end up changing. Like, the outline that Drew and I came up with today is not my usual outline. It's close, but we tweaked one of the points to focus more on speakers, or what I would normally go in and do.